How's it going, everyone? Hope you're all doing well. So today we're starting something new, something I'm pretty excited about, and hopefully the beginning of some bigger, cooler stuff down the line. Now, if you've been following the first series, Pixel Perfect, you'll know we've been building a custom render engine, one that produces these low-resolution, stylized renders. And don't worry, we're coming back to that. There's still a lot of ideas I want to play around with there. But today, I want to kick off a new project. Before tackling something big, I want to look at making something smaller, a closed, short experience to get at least one project under our belt for the channel. And I want to share that journey here and also develop these games alongside you and your ideas in the comments. The last thing I want this to feel like is a definitive guide on how to make games. Because like any art, the true work comes from finding a process that works for you. The other important thing is that making games informs us how to build and extend our existing tech. The process of navigating the path from idea to release allows us to carry out a few important tasks, such as optimization, that perhaps making a YouTube series doesn't afford. And a quick one before we dive in. A huge thank you to everyone supporting over on Patreon. If you want to get involved beyond just watching, members get access to playtest builds every episode, so you can actually get your hands on the game and help shape where it goes. Thank you for all your support. Without further ado, this is episode 1 of Brickwork. There's something quite self-indulgent about this fantasy of having a big vision for a game and mapping out all of the little intricate parts of how it works in your head. The truth is, I don't know what this game is yet, and I shouldn't. Game development is an exploratory, adaptive process where to find the most value out of an idea, I need to experiment, playtest, and listen to feedback. So instead of sitting around waiting to have a light bulb moment, the best way forward is to play around with smaller, more contained elements. So you start somewhere, anywhere really. Maybe it's a mechanic, maybe it's just a little space that feels like it belongs in the game you have in your head. And honestly, it doesn't matter what state it's in. The moment there's something to actually sit and play around with, you start to get a feel for whether there's something there or not. And to me, that's what game development is. And so where this journey starts is looking at color. Ever since starting this project with our pixel art engine, I felt that the most interesting part was always the quantization. The way color can be applied in various ways depending on palette struck me as a unique place to look for a game. I felt that if I could put this aspect into the player's hands, letting them apply the color, that could produce some interesting visual results that came from their own agency. And so I went about creating a prototype where we couldn't progress further in this project until we answered a key question. Is it satisfying to apply color to objects? So I built this small piece of tech that allows you to place pixels directly into a texture, which can use the object's texture mapping to project across the surface. This results in the ability to physically paint objects with the drag of a mouse, as if applying paint with a brush. And this was for sure somewhat fun, and it quickly progressed to more complex scenes where parts of the objects could be masked. The player could take large sweeping strokes, but the paint would be contained within the area that was focused, and this lessened the need for very precise, careful mouse movements. From here, painting was enjoyable, but I was looking to add more gamified elements to potentially see where this might go as a playable experience. I added this quota system, where we could detect when the paint reached a certain level. When that quota was met, we could mark it off as complete. The actual act of completion was satisfying, but it turned what was a relaxing, cozy experience into something that felt like more of a chore. But I wasn't ready to let go of this direction just yet. I still felt there was more to explore here. As I said previously, finding where the heart of a game is comes from playing around and experimenting with a certain aspect. I wanted now to try and capture the feel and mood of where this game might go. So, I started a new scene, a blank open space where I could start blocking out the key shapes. Now, I'm not an artist, so this part of the process is particularly difficult for me, both in the sense of being productive with my actions inside the editor, and also in the process of trying to translate what's in my head to the actual game world. But, like engineering tasks that I'm familiar with, I'm slowly trying to iterate on the abstract and turn it into something more concrete. And what I'm trying to capture is this feeling of a small little house that needs bringing back to life through color. On top of this diorama we've built, I start to integrate some of the existing tech that we introduced in the previous scenes. I start to give certain objects the ability to have the custom texture wrapping, and this allows us to apply paint in a similar fashion. I again assign these mask groups to create fairly intuitive areas, separating the walls, steps, roofs, etc. into completable sections. And as you apply paint to these groups and meet the quota of expected coverage, you get a satisfying completion feedback. As I play around with this demo more and more and sit with it for a while, I arrive at a few key conclusions that need to be addressed. After sitting with this demo for a while, playing around more off camera and experimenting further, I came to the conclusion that this is not it. I am convinced that there is in fact a game inside this prototype, but I am not the dev to find it, and that's okay. The reason I wanted to highlight this is that I feel like it's a deeply neglected part of game dev content. What we have created so far is a toy, and toys are somewhat easy to make, whereas games, which offer goals, constraints, and long-term satisfaction, are much more tricky to form. Prototyping is a painful process. Not every idea should make it, and I don't really believe you can make a good game without breaking a few eggs. At least on this channel, I'm not interested in shipping titles for the sake of it. And yes, maybe we could force a game out of this, but I think players can feel it when something has been pushed out the door without passion behind it. Nevertheless, this wasn't a fruitless experience. Every time we make something, we improve as a dev and learn more about what works and doesn't for us. Fortunately, in our case, this prototype led us to our next idea. On the journey of creating our paintable house demo, I experimented with different tooling to aid me in the design of the structure. Not always knowing where I wanted to place objects, I created a set of tools for placing prefabs into a predefined grid. With this, I could easily create layers, add or remove shapes, and iterate more quickly on their placement. And I think the realization I came to was that I enjoyed the act of building the scene more than the feeling of testing it. Naturally, as an engineer, wanting to build things was a given, but with the right tools, I really felt there was something here, a feeling that I never got when trying to make the painting demo. And so I start the process of moving these tools from editor to runtime. And what better candidate to test these new features than the humble studded brick? And the idea of Brickwork was born. Just as we explored the ideas of painting, I started to expand the functionality of the brick building system, creating scenes where I could build simple models. I experimented with physics systems and how players might acquire building materials, and I kept iterating on the feel of placing. I wanted it to be tactile and chunky. If we were making a game where the core action is placing, then I wanted to get an early understanding of how it might feel. I expanded these systems to support typical actions such as deleting blocks, and I added controller support because I think it's important to do this early for accessibility, porting, and player preference. Eventually, I was able to define models and data as a target to build. The closer the model is to completion, the higher the percentage would read. And reusing the same completion effect from the paint demo, we could highlight bricks that were in the wrong place or give a celebratory glint upon completion. And whilst it is still early days in the project's lifespan, I have the gut feeling that we're on the right track here. The model building aspect is a gateway to test certain systems, but I still feel we could take this in any direction we wanted, whether that be puzzle, cozy, tower defense, sandbox, or something else entirely. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What excites you, and where do you want to see this go? If you want to get a hands-on try and give feedback directly in the Discord, all Patreon tiers get access to the most up-to-date builds. If you made it this far, a like and subscribe goes a long way to help the channel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.